XQC and his girlfriend Adapter just broke up. And why should we care? Because guys can learn a lot from this situation. XQC had no prenup in their relationship and became a millionaire. And just after they broke up, Adapter took his house, his McLaren, and all his food. XQC only took his cat. On paper, she didn't do anything wrong, but everybody knows that it is his hard-working money. XQC have been streaming 12 to 24 hours a day for many years now, delivering content like nobody else. And he's my favorite streamer. So be careful if you're a hardworking guy or woman and join a relationship, because they can take everything from you in the future. You never know somebody's real intentions.
This is like why XQC got so mad.
XQC has been through the ringer lately, with him missing out on an Amaranth date, 2 very public breakups, and now a restraining order. Details were leaked about Twitch streamer Adept filing for a divorce against XQC, which left many people wondering if they were actually married or not. Turns out, Adept is trying to get the court to see the 2 streamers' relationship as a common law marriage, which is a legally recognized marriage without the purchase of a marriage license. If the court grants her this, she will be legally entitled to half of XQC's belongings that he acquired during their relationship, and to that, YouTube streamer Destiny had a few choice words.
That's what she's trying to do. Gold digging. He's not really allowed to talk about it because of this order, so he can't say much, and everybody is assuming that he's a moron.
This is how unfairly the legal system is treating XQC. X just came back from the court. He's getting sued by his ex. The reason? He broke up with her. I got hands on the leaked court papers, and it says X can't comment on the proceedings online, he can't delete any data or content, he can't sell his Texas or Canada house, nobody is allowed to drive the McLaren, but she is allowed to drive the Tesla and the BMW. She asked the court to stop him from moving his money outside the US. So everything right now is in her favor, and X can't even talk about it. Adapter have been trying to trap X for a long time. This is a clip where she tries to get him to say that he wants to marry her, and he absolutely destroys her.
If you had to pick one, which would you pick between having to be married or having to have a baby right now? Right now.
Married if I can get a prenup.
Okay, you're dumb. Anyways.
And 2 weeks before she filed a suit, the 14th of November, she came around and kissed him and started talking about he wanting her back.
He's been trying to win me back for a while already. Okay?
She filed a restraining order against X, but then showed up banging on his house at 3 a.m.
Somebody's at the door.
If you wanted to have evidence of someone breaking an order, what would be the best thing to do? Harass them while they're live streaming. When he went back to mute the stream, she started yelling that he's breaking court order. This was an attempt to get him to speak about her on stream, so he gets in trouble.
Shh.
You're violating.
Oh my god, shut up! My god!
Luckily, X handled the situation perfectly and ended the stream. But right here, she went against order 2, and she also went against her own restraining order against him.
Listen, if you guys are saying fucking.
Hello, XQC. This is Adapt's lawyer. I'm sending this message to you to remind you that the McLaren isn't yours, bucko. Also, your last 3 relationships with the women didn't work out. Maybe try some of those femboys you like so much instead. Get the juice.
Adept shows up at XQC's house and ends stream.
I have full authority to require based off the court order that we agreed upon. You signed your name on it.
Get out now.
No, I need you to come back now. Mom, that is out for the car that I'll pull up on. Or can you tell me what's happening? And then I can. Why are you locking the gas? Hey, could you close the door and I can call because you're violating the court order and I need help. Bring a stranded someone.
Anyway,
So bring a stranded No, that's not true.
I had lost
I know.
the password.
I have the password. We both.
People saw something and are now speculating about what it means, and the problem is that they don't understand how these things work whatsoever. I will tell you with 100% confidence, I am not married. I was never married, and honestly, like everybody that's been watching the stream for like 6 years, okay, know my exact mindset about this, that I would probably never get married for the rest of my life. Okay, it's not something that interests me. I think people do it out of like customs or whatever. I don't see any value in it. Okay, well, dude, what about the thing that would require you to understand how these things work and put.
All right, what's going on, everybody? I'm gonna try to make it quick because football comes on in an hour, and I'm a football fan, so let's get to it. First off, right, guys, if you haven't noticed, Sammy has not blocked anyone or turned off comments on any of her posts, okay? Because she's trying to paint the audience as Alex Jones fans, per se. So if you could, please, I know Mr. Kyle can't say it, but please don't put anything in her comments. I mean, even in my comments will probably be pulled up in court at some point because this is going to trial. I've already put that in a video, but I just wanted to get that out the way. You know, be respectful of all parties to the best of your abilities. I know a lot of us in here, I just checked the poll, looks to be rooting for Mr. Kyle, and the fact that we have an overwhelming amount of no's and 19% undecided with 8% saying yes, that means it's not cut and clear. So that would fare well for Mr. Kyle in a jury trial. All right, so if you don't know who I am Henry Resilient. I am a former investigator for a company, not a private investigator, but I did have to follow some people around every now and then. I had to ask some questions. I had to make some calculations because I was the money man. When it was about money, they sent me in and to get the facts. And after about 5 years, I got promoted and I would train other people to be an investigator. And it was about 20 of us. And I'm gonna actually be seeing them in about 2 weeks for a conference related to some stuff. But also, I'm going through a divorce, and I know Adept or Sammy is trying to say that people are being paid to cover this. People, you know, like she called Destiny out and said Destiny was told by Mr. Kyle to cover this story. It's all public record, but I have proof, undeniable proof, when I was told to cover this case. Okay, I was, you know, I'm going through a divorce. I'm about to lose roughly $150,000. Liquid, and then probably 200,000 total, just from court, you know, from my retirement, equity in the house, and court costs. I'm paying alimony, I'm paying child support, I'm paying it all. So I know a lot about divorce to the point where I then I didn't pay enough in lawyer fees to put someone through law school at my local college here in my state. So that's where my expertise has come in, and I am, when I tell you, it's been an interesting experience as this person I'm getting divorced from is trying to exercise their legal right to every penny possible. I am not joking. It is a battle. It is a battle. But now that we got that off the way, I am a father. I have like a 3-year-old daughter who tries to do my hair. You know, she would come up, you know, do daddy hair. And she likes to do the robot when she gets on the soundboard. So she talks like a robot and say, Daddy, I want to talk like a robot. But we're not talking about a robot today, but I do got our hammer because we're going to have some order in the court, goddammit. Order in the court because we're going to go through the judges. We're going to check the lawyers for corruption. I know, right? People think it don't exist, but it definitely does exist. But I'm going to show you like the process of how you weed it out, how you weed out the corruption per se. Just there's no proof of corruption, but there's a way to, you can kind of weed it out just to see if there's like an inkling of corruption. What else we got? We got this new document here. Let me add it to the screen. We're going to talk about it. and the importance of it after we do like a quick recap, because people wanted the in-depth analysis of what's going on, and I want to provide that to you. I really do. We're going to go through the lawyers. We're going to go through the legal fees. We're going to go through the motions, because I see a lot of people don't know what the difference between a motion is in a court order. I'm going to break all that down for you. Give me 1 second. I'm also streaming on Twitch. So if you find me on Twitch, whatever, do what you do. Let me get this document. Where's the document? Give me a second, guys. We're going to share it just to get this going. And this ain't the document. I got to find it. This is the citation. I'll make it bigger for you guys while I look for the document, because I got about 50, 11 tabs up, but where's it at? It should be towards the end, actually. Right here. This is the document, the Rule 11 agreement regarding initial disclosures. We're going to get to that to the end, but first, I want to make a correction, because Mr. Kyle is not worth $9 million. We're going to put some respect on his name, as the juicer's been telling me that he's worth a lot more than $9 million. And I've been hearing numbers around $50 million. I heard he had $100 million endorsement deal with some gambling website. But before we get into it, be respectful of everybody. Remember, Sammy is likely watching this stream. She's watching this stream to look for proof of foul play or intimidation, because she's trying to hem our boy Mr. Kyle up. So, but without further ado, let me get into the early contributors. If you want to contribute to the show and let your voice be heard, you can send a super chat, or you can reach me on Cash App and Venmo, $ Henry Resilient. But shout out to our first contributor, Classy Beats. What does he say? Hey, yo, like the video. Yes, please like the video. I do a lot of work and a lot of prep, and I just like the video. That's the only payment I ask really from you guys, but I appreciate the donation. So thank you, Classy Beats. And if you need a beat, hit up Classy, because he got the hottest beats in the ATL. Shout it. All right, who else we got? We got Robin in here. Can't wait for this amazing stream. Thank you, Robin, for the $2 euro. I appreciate that, Robin. You've been holding me down. And I think I saw a couple more. We're going to get through them, and then we're going to get straight into this content, because like I said, I'm trying to keep it tight to an hour, And I normally want people to come up, but last time someone came up, they pulled out a blicky, and we can't have that. We can't have that at all. What does Mantastic say? Just wanted to shout you out, Henry, and make sure y'all hit the like button. Also, a YouTuber named Camperville name dropped you in a good way. Yes, and shout out to the YouTubers who've been covering this. Shout out to Mew Kitty. Okay, y'all need to put some respect on Mew Kitty's name, because her shorts have been phenomenal. And did I miss a Dust Productions super chat? Dust has been holding me down for a while. I've been talking to Dust. Where's my Twitch link? Great question. I didn't have one. Remember, I'm just a new YouTuber. All right. So shout out to Dust Productions. What do you say? I hope you are having a good day. I'm having a great day. I'm in positive spirits, and we are all here to help Mr. Kyle. So remember, guys, it's important. Watch what you say in the chat, because it will get pulled, and it will be in course evidence, and she'll be on the stand like, look what Wood SSM2 said. Something like that, even though he said, yes, Mew Kitty is the GOAT, because she is the GOAT. Tell Mew Kitty, holla at me. I got nothing but love and respect for her. All right, so what we going to do first, we're going to meet the judge, okay? Because the judge has full authority over this case, and I'm going to show you how I check for corruption. Not that the judge is corrupt per se, but there's certain ways you could kind of check and glean from the judge. Now, look, guys, I'm not trying to dox her, and I do not want you guys reaching out to the judge or any lawyers involved, okay? I don't think they understand the magnitude of this case, because this is going to be the biggest common law case in history. This is up there with Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. Not that there's any abuse or allegations, but on a magnitude. I don't know why TMZ is not covering it, the Shade Room. This is so major. If Sammy can prove that she was common law married to XQC or Mr. Crow, she could just retire. She don't got to worry about streaming no more. And people joke, but that's just what it is. So this is Brandy Hoffer. She's a Republican judge, so she's conservative. That means she's going to be married, have some kids, but she also works. So good for her. It was something in her experience that stuck out to me, because my magistrate, I looked up my magistrate who's overseeing my divorce. And let's go through her experience. I mean, I'm not going to read all of this, because it's not necessarily. It was one line right here. Former prosecutor for Williamson County, Dallas County, and Texas Attorney General's office. What that means, right? These judges who used to be our prosecutors, they're prone to push people to settle. Okay, they hate settle, settle, settle. We don't need to go to trial. We don't need to go to trial. But Mr. Kyle said, F settling. We are going to trial. Okay, we going to trial. But we can give you a quick background on her, presiding over child protective services cases, protective orders for victims of family violence and criminal cases. This is important because of this first line right here. It's going to come back in hand when I explain why she redacted certain requests that Sammy made in her initial protection order or TRO against Mr. Kyle. Presiding over adoption cases, family civil is good because she has experience with divorces. When you say family civil, divorces is child support, custody. Thank goodness there's no kids involved, because if the divorce is looking so this litigious, it will look even more worse if there was a kid involved. And when I say litigious, Mr. Kyle only filed 3 documents. 3 documents. One was the you have to answer, which was sealed, by the way, which I don't know why it was sealed per se, and all the other ones were free. That caught me way off guard that it was sealed. And the other 2 was him saying bifurcate the trial, which we're going to get to what bifurcation is. And for him saying, hey, if she lose, she better pay me because she costing me time, money, and energy. And he probably losing sleep because in all likelihood, there's a possibility she could win. Okay, there's a possibility she could win. So how do we check for corruption per se? Not corruption, but influence. Okay, so she has to run for judge. To be a judge, you have to get elected. Okay, she's a real judge. That means people in Texas elected her to be the judge. And there's a endorsements page right here, right? Endorsements Hayes. Okay, click here to add your name if you support her. Now you're like, well, what does that mean? Endorsement name? What does that mean? All right, so I pulled up the lawyers that are representing. This is Sammy's lawyer, right? This is Ian Pittman, and shout out to Ian. Remember, guys, do not contact these doggone lawyers. Do not contact them. All right, let the case play out, because if you contact them, what's going to happen? Sammy's going to say, Mr. Kyle put you up to it. So this is me telling you personally, do not contact the lawyers. Okay, don't contact them. Don't contact the judge. I'm just giving you a general background. So his name is Ian Pittman, right? And what you do is you go here back to the judge page right here, share this tab, and you just do a quick search. I searched it just to see if he donated or his law firm donated. It was no donation. So we're pretty good right there, right? So we know Ian Pittman may not have any influence over this judge, okay? So who is Ian Pittman? Now look, you're going to notice some differences in between the legal team, okay? And that typically happens. All right, I see some people on Twitch coming through. All right, cool. Make sure y'all on Twitch, I don't even know what y'all do. Do y'all like the stream on Twitch? Anyway, I know I'm talking fast, but because I'm trying to get through it, guys, I'm trying to get through it. He's willing to I'm willing and able to advocate for his clients. What lawyer is not? But there's going to be something in his description that you may catch on. Ian is a willing and able advocate for his clients, both across negotiation table as well as the courtroom. Ian's practices focus on high conflicts of family law. High conflicts of family law. Okay, you see what that means? Hey, he's in it because you don't go to this guy when you want to settle. You go to this guy when there's some high conflict. So that kind of tells me a lot to the fact that you go reach out, and it could just be coincidence that, hey, you just want a high conflict family attorney because maybe you suspect that Mr. Kyle is not going to be in agreement that, I didn't even share it. I didn't even share the tab. Sorry. Here's his tab. Ian Pittman, for those who just got in here, is Sammy's lawyer. Okay, don't go harass him. Don't reach out to him. All right, but he is a high conflict family lawyer, okay, including divorces with complex property and custody issues, custody disputes across the lines. So that's what you need to know about him. And I'm sure he has an impeccable background. I really didn't look up to see how long he was a lawyer, but typically you want a 10-year lawyer, okay? You want a lawyer who's been doing it 10 years. Now let's look up Mr. Cow's lawyer, okay? Look up Mr. Cow. I need a sound effect for Mr. Cow. All right, this is Adam J. Morris, okay? And something stood out about him to me. He is a board certified family lawyer because you want a family lawyer. You're contesting divorce. He was named in a Rising Star by Texas Monthly Magazine each year from 2005 to 2012. All right, here, let me make it a little bigger for you guys so y'all can see this. So y'all can see I'm not just blowing smoke up y'all tailpipe. All right, and what does he say? He is and a super lawyer from 2013 through present. So this guy is not messing around, okay? He is here to make sure that Mr. Cow is protected. He wants a favorable outcome for his client, which means no marriage, all right? No marriage. And they're dealing with this judge, and we're going to go through a video because some of y'all guys don't know how common law marriage work, right? You don't know how common law marriage work. And what I wanted to do was not only just show you the court documents, but also show you how to avoid common law marriage. And I know people are going to say, well, just don't live with a woman. But what if you do want to live with a woman? What if you like somebody and you want to avoid being commonly law married to her? All right. I'll show you. I'll give you the video after we hear about the judge who's presiding over this case, guys. Fair use to Williams County Forum. All 11 of you guys subscribers. We're going to make this bigger. We're going to turn up the...
One of the reasons I'm running is because of the county we are. We're conservative.
Let's get her backstory.
Brandy Halford, and I want to be your next judge for County Court of Law number 2. Thank you for having me this morning and giving us the opportunity not to be so rushed and for you to really get to know us. Well, as a woman, it's hard for me to talk about myself. So I've had to learn how to do that throughout this race.
I love that humbleness she come in. As a woman, she don't talk about herself generally, okay, but when you're running for judge, you gotta promote, you gotta self-promote, okay?
Spending 3 minutes about me. Be patient. I am married to Jerry Halford. We have 4 children. We have lived and worked and raised our children.
All right, 4 children, married with children. So conservative. How is she related to Adept? This is the judge presiding over the trial, guys. For the new people who just came in, this is the judge presiding over the trial. And shout out to everyone who just joined me on Twitch. Please do not make any disparaging comments about Sammy on Twitch because it's going to be evidence.
Community, Williamson County is very important to me. We're invested in it. One of the reasons I'm running is because of the county we are. We're a conservative county. It's safe for our children. I want to be part of that, so it's maintained. It's a place where people want to raise their children. My husband has been a police officer for 25 years.
All right. Husband, police officer, 25 years. So these are some strong, you got these strong morals, and that could bode well for Mr. Cow. Okay.
20 of those years for the city of Round Rock. The 4 children we have, our oldest is in the Navy. Our next one is 21 and working in our community. And then we have a senior in high school, which is sad. He's about to leave. He's kind of our little walking ray of sunshine. And I don't know how many people you can say about your 17-year-old like that.
All right, so she has kids. So remember that newlywed game, guys? You think she don't know that newlywed game is just a game? So we could probably eliminate that from being listed as evidence per se. I know it was flimsy when I showed y'all the newlywed game being used, but she could probably eliminate that from evidence.
He truly is. He's a very good child. One of his main things he does is he's church going. He's very active in our church group. And my daughter, she's about to be 9 years old, and she was really sad that she's not old enough to vote for me or endorse me. So she said, "Mommy for judge," and we just told her we put the endorsement on Facebook. So those are the 4 lights in my life, and my husband, we attend Grace Covenant Church.
All right, so she goes to church, and thank you, DP Productions, for telling me to turn up the sound. It is maxed out, but this is an old video. I just wanted to kind of give y'all an overview of who she is. Now, she's not going to drop the hatchet or anything like, hey, this is where I stand on marriage and divorce, but we can show you her family. Please, like I said, do not go contact these people. So there is her husband, there is their family. So this could bode well for Mr. Kyle because, hey, she believes in traditional things like a traditional wedding, like a ceremonial wedding per se. You see what I'm saying? So even though she's a judge and she's supposed to be impartial, we all have our own biases. Like me, I am biased to women profiting from divorce. I am. You know why? Because I'm going through a divorce. So yeah, I am not with women profiting from divorce. So this is her family. We don't need to go through it all, but you know, dad's a cop. Right here, dad's a cop right here. There's the beautiful family, beautiful, wholesome, conservative family. Okay, that's what we want to see, guys. That's what we want to see. All right, now let's go through common law marriage. All right, common law marriage. I got you. You know what? Before we go through common law marriage, I want to touch on how I started following this case. And I don't want Sammy to suspect anything like that Mr. Kyle sent that to me. I just started following Mr. Kyle today, by the way. And how do I become a juicer? Can someone put that in the chat? Am I the oldest juicer? Because I got about 10 years on Mr. Kyle, but we got a donation. And this donation says Henry is also, XQC is also a longtime drinker. I suspect this might be very disadvantageous for him in court. Nope, not a chance. He has been struggling with alcohol for 3 years. See, and this what happens, guys. This is how they try to assassinate your character. What does him drinking have to do with being married? Nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Drinking means nothing. Hey, the judge should be interested in, is he married? Not does he drink? So I appreciate the donation, Palace Low, but that should not be a factor in the decision because he drinks, but was he married? That's the ultimate factor. And we're going to touch on that, but I wanted to put this out, guys, because I don't want Sammy to think that I'm a part of the Mr. Kyle legal team, but I'm trying to help him the best he can, because what happens in divorce, what happens in my divorce is the husband is told to shut up and you have no voice. You can't say anything. He can't say, hey guys, she's trying to hit me up for spousal support. Hey guys, she's trying to hit me up for legal fees. Hey guys, I can't even drive my McLaren. Hey guys, she gets the Tesla in this. He can't say none of that. So when people are asking him questions about the divorce, or he sees something about divorce, you notice he just has to like whisk past it like it's not even happening to him. And it's likely the hardest thing he's experiencing in his life. I kid you not. But thank you, Palisol, for the $5 donation. I think we saw a couple more before we get into how I started. So Sammy, don't list me as the Mr. Kyle team. And shout out to Dust Productions with the $5 donation. Turn up the sound. Yes, I turned up the sound as much as I could. And what does Parasol say again? Henry, do you think the fact that XQC has history with Adderall? Look at this person. They just throwing out all this stuff. Like, I don't know, Mr. Kyle. Is he on Adderall? I don't know. And this is hearsay right here. Unless I see his prescription, it's hearsay. But let's read all super chats. Do you think the fact that XQC has a history with Adderall and alcohol will be disadvantageous for him in court? Okay. No, the court is not looking at his alcohol use, his prescription drug use. They're looking for 3 factors. Look, we're going to go over it. We're going to go over the 3 factors, but I want to get to the early contributors, the people who contributed. Their voice should be heard, and all contributors' voice should be heard. Like I said, I got like 10 years on all parties involved, and I've never watched Mr. Kyle stream until like a week ago or something. I was just checking them out. And what does this person say right here? What do they say? Hey, I'm 47 and love Mr. Kyle and your analysis. I must be the oldest, sir, surely. Yeah, how do we become a juicer? He definitely got me beat. I am not 47, but shout out to the old people who stay hip, or I don't even want to say old because that could be me. All right, so let me prove how I started watching Mr. Kyle. I am part of the coach gang because I'm going through a divorce. And if you're going through a divorce, this is where you want to be. I kid you not. Shout out to Coach. Shout out to Coach Greg Adams.
A order for a divorce filing. Petitioner there is listed, and I can't really see it. It's unclear, but there it is right there. And they went to it, and they're right there. Oh, it got a little clearer for her. Thank you. Petitioner Samantha Lopez responded, Felix, and there's the last name there with the attorneys retained and what date. And well, we won't put that up there, but there's the attorney's information. Original petition filed by the petitioner right there, 11 and 22, motion right there, proposed order, docket, and a temporary, what we call a TRO, a temporary restraining order. And it says a cancel restraining order. I don't know why it's canceled.
Okay, canceled was as a hearing. Okay, that the hearing was canceled. That's what he's talking about.
But that's going to be relevant because she did bust up on him. During a stream saying that she's doing what women do, which is then use the legal system against you. Let me see if I can find.
Hold on, I think I missed.
My exact mind.
Because he told me to start looking into this. Okay, he told me, hey, yeah, I see we got 777,000 people watching.
Said about this.
Yeah, and you tried to finesse the system.
They know my exact mindset.
Yeah, what?
Everybody knows my
what?
Word for word.
What?
Things they've been saying.
What the hell are you talking about? Shuffling. Hey, look.
Let's give Coach a little grace. He not with the young kids like that. All right, but he told me to follow it. I'm trying to get to it, and then we just gonna go straight through the court docs. Oh,
now he tried to hold masculine frame. Now he wish he listened to Andrew Tate. All right, now he wish he listened to Andrew Tate. So now he's shuffling. Unfortunately, she busted in the crib with that restraining order. Let's go ahead and show that. And this guy's, oh, by the way, allegedly here, this is a record that was posted here. Somebody recorded it. Boy, the internet don't lose.
This is where
this is allegedly the certificate of record of the actual marriage. And of course, you can't see it here. This is what was posted. This is allegedly is going to say that they have some sort of marriage and divorce filing with Samantha Lopez and Felix. His last name is there in the matter of Samantha Lopez and Felix somebody. I don't know. Maybe our man Henry Resilient can get on this.
You heard
there's
that?
Apparently here.
You heard that? He said maybe our man Henry Resilient can get on this. All right. So when was this posted? Because I want to make sure we get the dates. We get the dates right. All right. We get the dates right. This was posted January 9th, 2023. All right. So there we go. Right. There it goes, Sammy. I know you watching. All right. Now let's talk about common law marriage. All right. Because this woman right here is about to tell you guys who enjoy watching or maybe living with a woman, how you can avoid it. Fair use to HB rail law, and this is out of Texas, by the way. So this is right in the belly of the beast where this case is taking place.
Hey guys, Hannah Bell, family lawyer, here with the Family Law 101.
You pretty hip.
We're talking today about common law marriage, or an informal marriage, as it's actually called in the family code. And I think the best place to start with this topic is to talk about what common law marriage isn't.
There we go. So now we're about to get what common law marriage is not. And this is what men need to know, because you don't want to be in XQC's boat with half your potential earnings for 4 years or whatever the duration of marriage was. We'll get to it in someone else's hands but your own.
There are a lot of misconceptions out there. I mean, the main one being this, you've heard your friends like say this, especially if you're younger or whatever, like, okay, if you live with your girlfriend or your baby mama or whatever for X number of years, you're common law married. That's like 7 years or 10 years or something like that. No, that does not make you common law married.
So there's no time duration. I know people were asking me like, they wasn't living together for that long. I'm like, they could have been living together for a day, 2 days. Now, sure, it won't really hold that much up in court, but she's saying they lived together for like what, 4 years? She's going for a 4-year marriage or 2-year marriage. I'll get to it.
To be informally married or have a common law marriage, there are 3 things that have to exist. Okay. You have to have an agreement to be married. You have to actually live together as married, and you have to hold yourself out as married.
Okay. From what I saw, I have seen no agreement to be married. If someone has proof that Mr. Kyle said, Sammy, I want to marry you. Please email me at henryresilient@gmail.com, and let's put some banners up to put some respect on some people's name.
Now, the agreement to be married isn't likely going to be some written up contract, okay? More than likely what happened was y'all were bopping along, living your life, and then started acting like husband and wife, calling each other husband and wife. And the court can infer an agreement from some of the actions that you take. So I'll explain it in a second. But probably if you're having this thought, I imagine you meet the second one, the living together as husband and wife.
All right. So were they conducting themselves as husband and wife? Does anyone have any evidence, not hearsay, evidence that they said, hey, we're Mrs. Cow. When I say Mrs. Cow and Mr. Cow, I want a video recording in 4K of both of them, date stamped, location stamped. Hey, we are Mr. and Mrs. Cow, or whatever. I can't say Felix's last name.
Right, that part you're probably doing. But here's some things to think about. Okay, if you are filing taxes together, if you're listed as a spouse on the other person's health insurance, if you call each other husband and wife to friends and family, right? If you hold yourself out, so the rest of the world would understand that you're married, right? Based on your actions, especially the tax thing.
So did they file joint taxes? I heard she did his taxes, but did they file filing jointly? That would kind of be like a nail in the coffin, not for the whole case, but just that she still needs he promised to marry me. But typically, right? Not saying this is far-fetched, you get tax benefits for filing married jointly. Okay. I'm saying that because I used to be married. Well, I'm still technically married, but anyway.
Then there can be this agreement inferred. The court could infer that out of there. It doesn't have to be like super on this exact date we agreed this exact thing, right? Now I say that at the same time that just like any other marriage, if you really are in an informal marriage, we have to pick a date of marriage. So you've got to tie it to something. Okay, so that's part of the drafting.
All right. She tied the date to something, okay? And I believe it's when she was in Canada at the Canadian border trying to get into Canada. So we go
piece to have to figure out. But in the sense of what is a common law marriage, if you meet those three elements, you're common law married. So say you're living with the baby mama, but it's real clear that y'all aren't married. You call each other maybe boyfriend, girlfriend still, or baby mama, baby daddy. You don't file taxes together. You have separate bank accounts. You're not on each other's health insurance. That's the sort of evidence you would put in and show that there isn't the existence of a.
So that's everything Mr. Cow's lawyer need to make sure, hey, we were not on each other's insurance. I know they signed a lease together, but hey, no insurance. She wasn't on his bank accounts, as we heard from him. No one has ever had access to his bank accounts. That is great evidence to have.
Common law marriage. Okay. Now, you're saying to yourself, what's such a big deal? If I'm common law married, I can just get common law divorced. Nope. No, you can't. Because once you're informally married, there's an informal marriage, but there's no informal divorce, right? If you're married, it's treated like a marriage and you have to actually get divorced. Because, I think one way to think about this is you're not going to get all the benefits of being married without all of the sort of responsibilities and consequences that come that. Like you're not going to pay less in taxes and get that benefit from being married, but then not have the obligations on the back end. So if you find yourself in this situation where you've had an agreement to be married, you've lived as husband and wife, and you've held yourself out as, well, I say husband and wife, this is spouses too. So
this is why on her divorce filing, she said, we've been living together as spouses and not husband and wife. You see, the words kind of mean something. We're going to break down a couple other words that come up in the court filings because she made a lot of allegations of him violating the restraining order. And we gonna get to if he violated or if she's reaching.
It applies to same-sex couples too. I should have said that at the beginning. But anyway, if all of those things are met, you're actually going to have to get a divorce. And it looks basically the same as a regular divorce, except that you have to pass the threshold to show the existence of the common law marriage. So there's that piece that's a little bit different, but the implications are the same. Because if you're common law married, that is, or informally married, you start to accrue community property interest.
Oh, community property, right? 800K in the chat. We got 870,000 people watching. But community property, right? We know community property is that McLaren because she said, hey, my name is on the title. I don't know the issues behind the BMW or the Tesla, if her name is on those titles or not, but we do know she was awarded or ordered exclusive use of it. Now, don't read too deeply into the exclusive use. We know Mr. Cow don't have a license. Mr. Cow, get a freaking driver's license.
Yes, you have that whole conundrum with what's yours, what's mine, and what's ours, and that whole thing that has to get undone. So if you want to avoid this, if you want to not be common law married and protect against it, just get some things real specific, right? Like don't do those things I mentioned. Don't file taxes. Don't be on health insurance. If your significant other is posted on their Facebook like, oh yeah, my wifey, my hubby, whatever.
Stop that immediately. Do not let any girlfriend, boyfriend refer to you as husband and wife, or you could be like Mr. Cow. So that's what I'm saying. Please, guys, don't play husband and wife if you don't want to play divorce.
I mean, you don't have to be rude and weird about it, but you probably want to correct that or you're going to see it as an exhibit on the stand. I know in one case there was a Facebook post of the hubby wifey thing.
You see how social media plays into everything? Social media is playing into my divorce too. I am actually using a post. I can't give away legal strategy, but yeah, social media is definitely used for divorces. That's why I keep telling you guys, please do not go and harass or make disparaging comments on Sammy's page.
That was coming in. So that's something to keep in mind. And if that's one way to kind of protect against it. But if you're in it, you got to get divorced. You need a divorce lawyer, or at least figure out how to do it on your own, right? You got to get out of it, and you have to do it relatively quickly. You've got 2 years, so you can't wait 10 years later and say, oh, there was this house we kind of owned together and we were married.
We know about the $1 million house together. And I'm also going to get into you what the judge is going to rule, because once I get to the document that I did not release, it's all going to make sense to you guys, and we're going to break down the motions, and everything should be made clear by the end of this stream.
And you hear they're selling it and going to make a bunch of money, and then you try to do something, right? You can't dilly-dally. You've got 2 years to get it done. So common law married, you got to get divorced.
All right, that's enough of her, guys. All right, so are we all clear on common law marriage? Are we all clear? I think we are clear. Let me go through the chat, make sure. I see we got some people on Twitch. Do y'all like the stream on Twitch? What do you do on Twitch? Like, this is, someone email me what to do. And also, when I say email me, there was a rumor that Sammy sent her fans to attack Mr. Cow during a live stream. Do we have any proof to that? Shout out to everybody on Twitch. Spam Mr. Cow emojis, please. I know people say I shouldn't be biased, but I'll present the evidence, and if there's evidence that hey, she got proof that he said he was gonna marry her, then he just gonna have to hold that L. He just gonna have to hold it, and there's nothing much we could do about that. So let's get into the original petition for divorce. We're gonna go through this because hopefully all you guys have seen most of this, and if you haven't, they're posted in old videos. But we're gonna talk about two things when we go through this. We're going to go through his legal defense because I think he has a good case. We're going to talk about, are these motions frivolous? Because look, my soon-to-be ex-wife has filed plenty, when I say plenty, she's filed motions against me to block me from things. And the judge was like, nope. So this could be the same case when we start getting into the motion. So what does she say in her divorce? There are key things that we just need to focus on that sticks out. Okay, guys? Key things. All right, original divorce, and they're typically highlighted. This is Sammy, and this is Mr. Cow. Remember, I don't dox, so if you see anything blacked out, that means personal information. We're not trying to dox any of them. Parties are bound immediately by the county. So we're looking at every asset he acquired, every contract he acquired between August 25th, 2020 and October 31st, 2022. So that looks about like a 2-year marriage. And from what I heard, he signed a $100 million deal with Stake. So if he did indeed sign a $100 million deal with Stake, let's just say it's for 5 years, 20 million a year. 2 years, she may be entitled to what's that, 40 million? She may get 20 million. Someone said 100 million. I don't know, guys. I'm just start looking into it. Like, I kid you not. So when I be investigating, right, there is literally a person who told me, like,
you shouldn't be investigating too much.
He told me that on live stream. He's like, hey, you shouldn't be investigating too much. And I'm like, well, what?
Dig, bro.
Yes,
Like to dig.
I dig. I will dig into someone's life to the point where I know them on the first and last name basis. I did not do that to this, but should I dig deeper? Like, all right, I'll put up a poll. We got 1690 people voted, and they said no, with a whopping 7% said yes, 21% said undecided. But like I said, we just going to hit the fine points. Hey, August 25th to 2020. So that's important because where were they on that date? Were they in Texas or were they on the Canadian border? Why is that date significant? That's the whatchamacallit. Like, yeah, I know people tell me
certain things have to be kept private.
I don't care about privacy. I have no privacy. When you become an investigator, you have to treat everything like it's going to get out there. So August 25th, 2020, any contract he assigned, any property he obtained, which is that $1 million house, that McLaren, all community property, blah, blah, blah. We know, look, we know this part right here, right? I don't want you talking about it on Twitch or YouTube. This is what happens. Remember, in her statement, she said, hey, I gave fans bits and pieces of why we were breaking up. And then I hit him with this. I requested the judge put a gag order on him. Okay. This is as they would say, throwing rocks and hiding hands. Okay. We don't want to do that. And it's a way to kind of like, hey, if I'm doing you wrong in the court, don't say nothing about it. And when you can't say nothing about it, you just feel like all alone. Even his friends, even his families. Okay. Like, this is the hardest thing you're experiencing, and she doesn't want you to talk about it at all. It's reprehensible. Okay. She's looking for attorney's fees. The highlighted green part is attorney fees. Like, come on, guys. How do I block people on Twitch for spamming crap? I need a mod on Twitch. Anyway, and so she wants attorney fees, and she's praying to the judge for this, and she's asking for a restraining order. Here's the restraining order. It's typical. It's standard. It's basically, don't harass me. Don't call me. Yada, yada, yada. You see this all the time. Yo, how do I do this? All right. Anyway, someone is spamming Twitch right now. I'm being spam bombed on Twitch. Gosh, I don't have a mod on Twitch. This is hilarious. Let me see if I can stop streaming on Twitch. Sorry, guys. You're going to have to come to... I'm scared if I hit in broadcast, it'll happen. But anyway, sorry. Hold on, guys. How do I stop streaming on Twitch? Log out? Can I log out? All right, cool. Twitch is done. I think. Oh, nope. All right, hold on. Let me get these. Let me get these trolls out of here. I don't know how to ban. All right. Anyway, this is what happens. Clearly, we got some. Someone said, "Add me as a mod." I'm not signed in. Oh, Jesus. Anyway. We'll keep going for the people on YouTube. I'll follow it live so I get you guys. Put in emote only. All right. I'm just going to have to keep going, guys, because we got to get through this. And sorry about that. Next time I got you. All right. So let's go to this. She asked for a restraining order, and there's something very crucial about it. Let me take a commercial break and let me fix Twitch real quick. Give me a second. Brand. It's going to be a 2-minute and 30-second commercial while I fix Twitch because they killing the chat. They killing it. Where we at? Sorry, guys.
This is how unfairly the legal system is treating XQC. X just came back from the court. He's getting sued by his ex. The reason? He broke up with her. I got hands on the leaked court papers, and it says X can't comment on the proceedings online, he can't delete any data or content, he can't sell his Texas or Canada house, nobody is allowed to drive the McLaren, but she is allowed to drive the Tesla and BMW. She asked the court to stop him from moving his money outside the US. So everything right now is in her favor, and X can't even talk about it. Adapter have been trying to trap X for a long time. This is a clip where she tries to get him to say that he wants to marry her, and he absolutely destroys her.
If you had to pick one, which would you pick between having to be married or having to have a baby right now? Right now.
Married if I can get a prenup.
Okay, you're dumb. Anyways.
And 2 weeks before she filed a suit, the 14th of November, she came around and kissed him and started talking about he wanting her back.
She's been trying to win me back for a while already. Okay?
She filed a restraining order against X, but then showed up banging on his house at 3 a.m.
Somebody's at the door. The fuck?
If you want to have evidence of someone breaking an order,
All right, guys, I fixed it. Sorry, guys. If you on Twitch, I had to enable following for 1 day only modes because someone was spamming me hard body. But it's all right. You know, some people don't want the message to get out, but we got it. What does this person say? Adept played an active role behind the scenes for years. She was his accountant, driver, spouse. Look how they threw that in. Assistant, mama, etc. Team Adept. Okay. Shout out to Shay for Team Adept. All right. I appreciate that donation. I don't know about the spouses. And let me get the camera back on. That was crazy. Twitch was going banana. So if you're on Twitch, you're gonna get the information, but it's gonna be a little you can't comment. Sorry about that, guys. Blame the trolls. All right, so this is the temporary restraining order that was granted. Okay, this was granted that's binding to QDC. I mean, not QDC. Adept, Sammy, and Mr. Cal. All right, notice what was crossed out. Okay, it's very telling. All right, there's for order that the causing bodily injury to the petitioner. You know why she crossed it out? Because it's safe to suggest that Mr. Cal has not ever caused bodily injury to Sammy. Okay, what happens? You will see this in like a high conflict domestic violence divorce. All right, but since there's no bodily injury ever happened, it's out. I mean, and it's probably like common. All right. Threatening petitioner with imminent bodily injury. So why did she cross that out? Mr. Kyle never threatened to delete Sammy, more than likely. That's why they crossed it out, and it's common practice. All right, taking any steps to look what they cross out, right? This is important. Stalk, harass, or threaten. You see it's crossed out because Mr. Kyle has never stalked, harassed, or threatened her. So that is major because now we know that the judge is being fair. Okay, they're thinking about some things. They're not just taking what she says as the law per se. Otherwise intimidating, including but not limited to, blah blah blah. Talking about it. So this is the day he was banned from talking about it. This was filed on November 16th. All good, and it's binding to them too. The Felix supposed to have a hearing on the 29th, which was canceled. I can pull up the docket, but that is a great indication. Okay, now we're gonna go through this one. This is the citation, right? This is, hey, you've been sued, and we know that he was aware of this lawsuit coming, considering the fact that it was emailed to him. Okay, so that breaks down the whole. He didn't know it was coming. He knew it was coming. It was literally emailed to the lawyers that, hey, you're getting sued. by your ex-girlfriend, or in her mind, ex-spouse. All right, what else do we have? Now we have the agreed temporary orders. Okay, agreed temporary orders. This was signed on, went into law on December 13th, right? Now look at these agreed orders. All right, we want to look at this closely, because these are the agreed orders that they both agreed to, that both parties said, hey, this is what we think is fair. And I'm gonna make it a little smaller so you guys could get the whole big picture. All right, appearances. Look, she did not appear. He did not appear. Okay, the parties have agreed to terms of this order as evidenced by their signatures below. So we know they both signed. Okay, they both signed. I love y'all too. Thank you guys. All right, and this is about to blow y'all mind. I promise you. I promise you. The court has jurisdiction. Who cares? All right, we know about the whole BMW. It is ordered. So this is what the court's saying. You have to do, Mr. Cow. There's no getting out of this. It is ordered that Sammy should have exclusive use of the BMW X6M and the 2019 Tesla. Okay. Now look, exclusive use. You could look at this one two ways. Hey, she has the car. You never said she had to have exclusive use of the account. Okay. You see what I'm saying? This how lawyers play these little games. Like if I'm his defense, if I'm Mr. Cow's defense attorney, I'm like, yeah, she had the cars were in her possession. This doesn't say anything about the Tesla account. What are we talking about here? Why is my client here? Why is my client being accused of destroying or prohibiting her access when she had access to the Tesla? You see what I'm saying? And shout out to that. It is further ordered, okay? Further ordered that he is prohibited from selling otherwise the Texas home or the Canadian home. Okay. So Mr. Cow, you cannot sell the Texas house that you own, which is worth $1 million, and you can't sell your Canadian home, which is worth God knows how much. I didn't look it up. And the respondent is prohibited from moving any sums of money or funds on deposit to any financial institution outside the United States. Okay, though temporary injunction. The court finds that the parties have agreed to enter the following. Look, I know it sounds like I'm repeating everything, but hopefully y'all are picking up what I'm about to lay down. Okay, the temporary injunction granted below shall be effective immediately, so effective as the date that they sign. This is what they both agreed to. They can't delete anything off social networks. So if you go to Mr. Kyle's page, you'll see a picture of him and Sammy, which I know is cringe now. It aged like milk. The whole YouTube thing and driving the McLaren. You know what you don't see? You don't see anything about saying he can't spend money. You don't see it nowhere. You don't see it saying, hey, he can't spend $500,000 betting on stake or the World Cup. You don't see he can't buy a Rolex. You don't see any of that. So this is what I talk about with these frivolous motions. Okay. So now you guys see this is what they agreed upon. And we're gonna go to, this their legal team. That's the attorney. So their attorneys signed off on this. His attorneys signed off on this, and they signed off on this, right? Where does it say he can't gamble? Where does it say he can't buy a Rolex? It doesn't say it anywhere. Where does he say he can't talk to close friends about it? You see what I'm saying? It doesn't say that. Let's just go back up to make sure I didn't miss it. Discuss it. He just says you can't discuss it on YouTube or Twitch or directing any followers to her profile, which I've told you guys, stop with the harassing language, or threaten the party or take any unlawful action against the party. So it does not say he can't spend money. It does not say he can't talk to close friends. So technically, he's not violating any court order when we look at these freaking violations that she's trying to put in the judge's mind. Like, hey, he violated this. If I'm the judge, I'm like, well, I looked at the order you guys agreed to. It says nothing about him not being able to gamble. Nothing. So where are we going with this? What are we doing, Sammy? Now, I'm not going to go through the whole story of, how they met or anything like that. But basically, she's saying that they lived together after he was getting doxxed and all this other stuff. And now let's go to the motions. All right. because emotion is just a request. It's just a request. It's like, hey, judge, can you help me out? Sammy, can you give me a break? Can you give Sammy a break? All right, this is where she asks for the pay the legal fees. Like petitioner requests that respondent be ordered to pay reasonable interim attorney fees. And like, how are you going to sue a guy and then say I'm broke? And what typically happens right here with this right here, this is where you say, hey, I need to know your monthly expenses. I need to see how much money you got coming in per month versus how much money you got going out per month. And based on that metric, can you afford to defend yourself? Now, this would be a slam dunk for Sammy if they were ceremonially married, but he's contesting the marriage altogether. So if I'm the judge, I'm likely not going to award attorney fees, especially if she's likely living rent-free. All right, what does this next one say? Petitioner has insufficient income for support, and petitioner requests a court order respondent to make payments for support until the final decree is signed. Okay, so you don't have enough support. If I'm the legal team, if I'm Mr. Kyle's legal team, hey, can you send me all your bank statements for the last 3 years? Hey, I saw you at motocross. Did you buy that ticket yourself or did a friend buy it? You know what I'm saying? You want to take a deep dive in her finances to make sure, hey, she's not just crying broke for him to pay for everything. She's crying broke because she really is broke. And typically in divorces, mine is no different. This is standard. What did my ex do? Hey, without your recourse, I can't live life. Even though I have a company car and my monthly income exceeds my monthly bills, I still need Henry's income to support me. And what the judge do? They're like, oh, okay, so you seem like a nice person. And it was a guy too, but that's just how it happens. But you know, to be fair, now the new magistrate is starting to see the light in my case, and I'm very appreciative of that. All right, we know she has blah, blah, blah. What is this? Possession of the motor vehicles, still possession. This is not per se the Tesla account. This is just possession of the vehicle. So if I'm Mr. Kyle's attorney, I'm like, what do you mean? He violated it. You had the vehicle. It's in your possession. It said nothing about he can't deactivate his account. That's how lawyers think. That's how their mind works. It's, hey, we go by what's in black and white. The account is not on here. So what you're going to see, right? Because they know they messed up. You're going to see it in like another one, right? Blah, blah, blah. Request that after the notice hearing be temporarily enjoined. Okay, so now we're putting more restrictions on Mr. Kyle. More restrictions. So this is how I know he wasn't in violation of the first TRO. But hey, this is what they're saying, right? Look at this. Providing copies of pleadings in cause to action to any third party who's not directly involved. Who cares about this? Because it's public record. Any one of y'all can look it up right now and see it's public record. You could pull up her attorneys. You can get these copies just like I did, do a little due diligence. Now look at this. Still directing any friends now. Now we got friends and family added to the list of, hey, employees, colleagues, other individuals to discuss pending litigation. I don't know anyone, so I'm not privy to this. And shout out to Mr. Kyle. You know, after this, Mr. Kyle, I would love to have a conversation with Mr. Kyle and see what he was going through this whole ordeal, because I know it's life-changing for him. I know it is. Now look at this. Utilizing funds to gamble or wager by games of chance. Okay? This wasn't in the original agreement that they both agreed upon. So now you're saying you want to hold him to the new rules that haven't even been approved by a judge to violate them. And oh man, when I tell you, like, there is no love between Mr. Kyle and Sammy. And I'm going to show you on the next slide how I know there's no love, and people with no experience with family court won't realize it because they don't know. You know, I know Mr. Kyle has a younger audience, but they don't know. Now, look at this, using funds to acquire clothing or jewelry. You know why she put this in? Because she's seeing them on Instagram, spending her money in her mind, And this is typically how it works. Like, hey, I saw him gamble on the World Cup. Hey, I saw him buy a Rolex watch. He shouldn't be spending our money. This is reprehensible, Judge. Stop him, please. Okay. And oh man, all right, I gotta take a water break before I lose my voice, because this is what gets me passionate and gets me upset. Here we go. Assessing or in any interfering with changing the password, email address, payment information, or any other information on any account or application related to any property that Sammy has been awarded exclusive use of possession, including but not limited to the Tesla application and or account associated with the Tesla application. So this is her lawyer realizing they made a mistake in signing the original one, because it's chess, not checkers, all right? And that's what happens when these divorces, where he like, hey, you have the vehicle. I deactivated the account. Nothing said I couldn't deactivate the account. We signed nothing. So get all this violation crap out my face. All right, sorry guys, I'm getting a little emotional. Shout out to Billy R. Why you should never make a contract with a person that will eventually break it. All right, thank you, Billy R. Remember, I told you guys, y'all can't be saying stuff like that, because this is gonna be brought up in court. Let me get it off the screen. But I get what you're saying. Billy is basically saying, never enter a contract with someone benefits from breaking it. All right, it's just what it is. And shout out to everybody on Twitch now that we got the trolls out the way. Okay, look at this. This is where it gets crazy. Now, actually, I'll explain to you about this $500,000 bond. Petitioner requests to the court that the respondent be Mr. Cow to execute a bond subject to the court's approval, or to deposit a security with the court of $500,000 payable to Sam, conditioned that the respondent complies with the court orders. So this is like, hey, make him put up $500,000. And if he violates it, it comes to Sam just for violating it. This is bad, but it gets worse on the next one. On the next document, I promise. Petitioner prays to the court that, remember y'all. The judge is God in family court. Judge is God. Petitioner prays to the court that after notice the hearing granted temporary injunctions in conformity with the allegations of this motion that sets forth the whole case pending. Petitioner prays that the court grant these court enter temporary orders regarding spousal support. Spousal support. Now she wants, I want money per month to basically extract money from you. Like lawyer fees and spousal support. Thank goodness I only had to pay spousal support, because I would have paid lawyer fees. I don't even know what I'd be doing. I'll be under a bridge somewhere asking for change. But execution of a bond. So she wants the bond and possession of the property as prayed for above. Petitioner prays that the court first amended motion for temporary orders. Now, this next one gets crazy. This is the first one. This is filed on the 17th. And this is how I can prove to you guys that there is no love. Okay, see, look, when you live with a person, when you live with a woman, you're going to learn her character, but you will never know her true intentions until you divorce her. The women who don't take half, God bless them. But the women who go for every penny, which is about 90% of them, I mean, the stats don't lie, end up like this. So you're about to know exactly how she feels about him. All right. What do we get? So we covered some of this stuff. This is her basically referencing the TRO, the original one that they signed, okay? Emphasis on that they signed. All right, what is this? Remember, it was supposed to be binding, and she got the Tesla and the BMW. Who cares? Now let's get to these, taking any steps to do anything on whatchamacallit. Preservation of property of funds during the divorce case. She's reaching, but you gotta reach, right? You her lawyer, you gotta hype her up like, yeah, Sam, we gonna go for all of that, girl. Yeah, he was in violation for sure. Like, okay, so look at this. How is this a violation right here? On December 18th, 2022, respondent wagered $500,000 on the World Cup. right? December 18th, 2022, respondent did $500,000 on the World Cup. This was signed on the 13th. Remember, we went through it. It said nothing about spending money. It said nothing about spending money. In fact, spending money really ain't come into play until you filed this, which was after the money had been spent. After, on the 13th. So you like, oh, he violated. How? You just start asking me you just start asking the judge to stop me from gambling, which is part of his deal with stake, right? So you can't have this sponsorship and not gamble, right? So now it's in a way, hey, I want to extract money from you, but I also want to make sure you don't make money in the process. Also, like, this happens. You think women don't go through a divorce and then try to get the husband fired from their job? She's trying to get them to breach of contract. Okay, it is very sordid stuff, man. Very sordid stuff. When a person makes an earn in gambling and you say, hey, I don't want you to gamble. But let's get back to it. So we know this is not a violation based on the order that they sign. So when you say a violation, and the judges, a good judge will see through it. A good judge will see through it. Like, well, why are you asking for him to stop gambling? And then like 2 days later saying he violated it. We didn't sign anything. I have the whole court docket. There was nothing signed in between her asking for it and granted. And I'll tell you why when we get to the secret document that I didn't release. Violation about the watch. You see how it's lining up, guys? She's saying, hey, no gambling, no jury on the new motion, but that wasn't in the original TRO. The original that they both agreed to. So what's happening is this, you just bogging down the judge with paperwork. Okay, another one, the whole Tesla thing where she popped up at his house. You guys remember when she popped up at the house? Where is it at? I think I got it. Where she popped.
Adept shows up at XQC's house and ends stream.
You do have full authority to the car. You didn't have full authority to the Tesla account. Remember, chess, not checkers, guys. And don't go easy on them in the divorce. That's my mistake. I went easy. I played it nice, and I'm getting cashed out. But hey, that's my life, Mr. Kyle's lawyer. I hope he play hardball. I hope he play real hard. Make it difficult for her, because Mr. Kyle's defense, when we break it down, is going to be like, it's going to be phenomenal. All right. So petitioner's knowledge about the Tesla. Okay. She banged on his door, and whatchamacallit, and what does it say? Blah, blah, blah. Sorry. Petitioner's residence related to actions interfering with the petitioner's use of access to the Tesla. He didn't interfere with it. You had the keys. So this is what I'm talking about. She pops up at the house, talks loud intentionally. She knows he's streaming, then say, hey, he talked about it openly. Then says, hey, he restricted me from the car. You just asked for the car. You just asked for it. January 8th, discussed the petition litigation with Twitch streamer on Twitch. Did he discuss it on Twitch? I think he technically just said, I was never married. He didn't say, I was never married to Sammy. You see how the words kind of mean something? He never said, hey, guys, I'm getting divorced, and I just want to let you know that I was never married. He didn't say that. He just said, hey, I was never married to Sammy. Or, sorry, he didn't say that. Sorry, guys. He just said, I was never married, and left it at that. He didn't say, I was never married to Sammy. So you could kind of like, remember, you could kind of wiggle with the, hey, I was never married. Leave it at that. This is where Destiny comes into play. Respondent provided documents and information to a third party named Destiny. Do she have proof of this, like a email transmission? Did she hack his phone, which she said he can't hack? Or is Destiny about to come up and say, yes, Your Honor, Mr. Kyle sent me documents to their divorce, this very public divorce, on January 11th, 2023. Is he going to say that? Nope. No, he's not. So now here we go. This is where the love is lost. This is how you know love is lost, guys. Love is lost. Petition requests that respondent be held in contempt, and fined for each alleged allegation. Does anyone have experience with child support or family court? Put a 1 in the chat if you got experience with family court, with child support, with divorce, with custody. 1 in the chat if you have experience with child support or family court. That's all I'm asking. Put a 1 in if you got experience with child support or family court. A lot of people saying no. Or, oh, sorry, some people are saying yeah. What does contempt look like in family court? Does anyone know what contempt looks like in family court? Jail or a fine. And in some cases, it could be both. So when you say, hey, I want them to be held in contempt, exactly. Someone got it. Someone said it. Jail. Exactly. Hey, jail. So when you say, hey, I want him to be, found in contempt, you're saying, hey, he needs to be off the streets. So look it up, guys. Don't take my word for it. When you get found in contempt in family court, it's usually jail or fines. But I'll tell you what the judge is going to do when we get to the document in his legal defense. All right. Of course, she prays that the respondent be held in contempt again and punished as requested, and that the respondent be ordered to pay attorney fees, expenses, costs, and interest, and all further relief authorized by law. So there you go. Hey, I want him to be held in contempt. Destiny replied already. Yes, I saw Destiny's reply. I played it earlier. But shout out to Destiny. Shout out to everyone involved. Someone said, ain't no way, little bro. Yes way, little bro. All right. So now, excuse me. Let's get to his defense. And I'm actually gonna make this bigger because I want you guys to understand what's being happening. What is Mr. Kyle saying? Will there be a trial on live? I'll get to that too. I'll get to all your questions. I actually have a list of questions that I wrote. If you guys could just do me a favor, can you like the stream? I see we got 1,200 people here and only like 300 likes. If you could just take a minute and like the stream, it's free. All right. So what is he asking to do? He's saying we need to bifurcate the trial. Bifurcate the trial is a fancy way of saying break up the trial, guys. Break up the trial. Hey, the motion to bifurcate the trial is brought by Mr. Kyle, who has requested the court to bifurcate the claim petitioner, Sammy, has made. That's entered into common law pursuant to 7. This is just a fancy law. Who cares about the fancy law? I'm gonna break it down for y'all for the people who don't got the legalese, like you may not be experienced family court, as I see some of y'all have no experience with family court and didn't know that contempt meant jail. All right, so on or about this date, let's start with the original one. She filed on November 14th. I'll show you exactly where I'm at. She filed her petition and claims that they were married. On January 10th, he made his answer, which respondent denies. His answer was sealed. I don't know why he sealed it. If I ever get a Mr. Kyle interview, I want to know, why did you seal it? Maybe he knows something that we don't. This was sealed. The parties have never been ceremonially married, which we know to be true. Now, when you say, okay, someone said sus why it was sealed, he could have put his stake deal in there. He could have put his current location in there. Like, hey, I'm living at this address and I get doxxed, and people like Henry Resilient gonna look up my damn court case, and I don't want Henry to know where I live. You know what I'm saying? Because Henry,
you shouldn't be investigating too much.
That was a Depp's lawyer, I think, who said that. No, I wasn't a Depp's lawyer. Let me not play before they be like, hey man, you lying on me. That was a guy who told me to stop investigating. So we know that they never been ceremonially married. At the issue of whether the parties are common law married, Petition alleges in her pleading that the parties are married. Mr. Kyle specifically denies the parties were ever married. We know about the common law relationship in Canada, which is not common law marriage. All right. What does he say? Respondent, Mr. Kyle, would show the court petitioner. So basically he's saying, show me Sammy is unable to demonstrate that the parties were formally married or common law married under Texas law. Now, his lawyer is pretty good, because my lawyer was pretty good. And you can always tell the signs of a good lawyer when they put historic Supreme Court decisions in there. Okay, so the Texas Supreme Court, he cited this case right here, this Winfield v. Renfro. But what does he say? 174B of the Texas Rules of Civil Procedure permits a trial court to order separate trials for any claims. Okay, separate trials for any claims Hold on, guys. Separate trials for any claims. I lost my spot. Or issues in furtherance of convenience to avoid prejudice. This is saying we need 2 trials. 1 trial for marriage, 1 trial for divorce, or division of community property. Emphasis on or. And I wouldn't be who I was if I didn't look up the court case. We're going to examine it after I get through this. In Winfield, the purported wife's suit for divorce alleged that common law marriage existed between the parties. So this is, Adept's great-grandmother and Mr. Cow's great-grandmother. I'm being a little facetious, but this is them back in the day, way back in the day. People trying to throw common law marriage ain't nothing new. Winfield and Renfro, purported husband, which is Mr. Crow grandpa, denied any marriage existed, which most men do when they about to get cashed out. Because remember, someone has a financial incentive to be married to Mr. Cow. Like, hey, if it was me, she'd be like, oh, I will never marry because I'll be cashing her ass out. No, I'm just joking. I wouldn't. But the suit involved not only whether parties were married, but also the division of significant property. So that's two cases right there, guys. Hopefully you guys are picking up this. Purported husband appealed and asserted that the trial court denied him a trial by jury by conducting separate jury trials on the issues of marriage and divorce. All right, so he didn't have it's perceived that he didn't have 2 separate trials, or the same jury who presided over whether he was married presided over him being divorced. So they came into it biased. All right. Let me make sure I got everything. The First Court of Appeals upheld the separate trial on issues of common law marriage and divorce. So this is not nothing that his legal team is springing on them. The Texas judge should be aware of this. Allows for a separate trial of the issues before different juries if the issues are distinct and separable. Okay, which we are all in agreement. Whether I'm married is one thing, and what's community property is a completely different case. If I'm not married, that's really going to strongly impact the community property. Okay. The court said that the issues of marriage and divorce are distinct and separate issues, and therefore the trial did not deprive purported husband of a right of a jury trial by bifurcating the issue. See what I'm saying? Bifurcating issues. You got to break that stuff up. You can't just throw me into a divorce trial and then throw me into separate property. It don't work like that. Similar to Winfield, the determination of existence of marriage in this case has potential to dispose, as in eliminate, the divorce and property questions altogether. So his lawyer's like, look, if we can prove we ain't married, there is no community property other than that god doggone McLaren, because I hope Mr. Kyle didn't put her name on the house. And we're going to talk about that with what the judge is going to do after this when we get to the document. Respondent requests bifurcation sought to do justice to avoid prejudice and for the convenience of court and parties. And you have to give my guy this. You can't just say, no, we're just going to go straight to the divorce. Okay. Respondent requests the court to bifurcate the issues, common law. We're going to look up his case law. Respondent prays that the courts grant the motion to bifurcate the trial, which I am probably 100% certain that this trial will be bifurcated. Okay. And it's going to be likely a jury trial. Like, oh man, it is. Ooh. So now it's whether he's married may be in the hands of 12 people. Respondent prays that this court bifurcates the issues of common law marriage and orders that the issue of common law marriage be tried prior to any issue related to divorce, including but not limited to the characterization and valuation of property. So, hey, I'm not even giving you guys my property or anything until we determine if I'm married. So discovery is going to be limited because it's just going to be, hey, whatchamacallit? We're going to get to Can It Be live stream. I promise you guys, we're getting to the good stuff. We probably got like 20 minutes left. How do we join the jury? Shout out to y'all. First off, you bet not. Look. Let me make this very clear, guys. Let me make this crystal clear to you. Do not post under Sammy's anything. Don't post at all, because I'm telling you, she's collecting it against Mr. Cow. She's collecting it. So please don't post anything, any harassing thing, anything that could be perceived as harassment. Don't do it. Mr. Kyle can't tell you that. So I got to tell you that. Shout out to the Eagles. They already scored. All right, who we got? We got marriage causes divorce with a contribution. So happy Henry is explaining divorce. So many guys don't realize all the games played in divorce. For every JDF, there's a million suffering in silence. And that's what's happening to Mr. Kyle. He's suffering in silence, y'all. He can't say nothing. He might as well be like this. He could be crying. Like he could be getting off stream crying because he doesn't know if he's about to lose millions on living together with Sammy. So thank you, marriage causes divorce. Now let's get into his legal. Defense, and we're gonna go through this case rather quickly because there's really not much here other than basically what I said. Let's make it a little bigger for you guys to see. All right. So this is the rule in common law marriage. The statutory requirement of respondents to others is synonymous with the judicial requirement of holding out to the public. So basically they're going on over what common law marriage is. Holding out to the public. Holding out may be established by conduct actions of the parties. Spoken words are not necessarily to establish representation as husband and wife. So this is the husband and wife thing. Let me make sure this is not too long. Nope, it's quick. It's quick. So listen closely, guys. I'm gonna go through it pretty fast because we kind of know this, but I want you to show like this is their legal defense. His lawyer is banking on this court case to defend Mr. Kyle as to being married to Sammy. Okay. So what are the facts? Sandra Renfro brought to action against David Winfield to establish a common law marriage, and the trial held that a common law marriage existed. So basically, this is the Fugazi trial that happened. Winfield contended that Renfro did not secure a finding on each essential element of her claim of common law marriage, and specifically alleged that the question and instructions submitted to the jury did not instruct them that both parties must represent to others in Texas, that they were married, not Canada, not New York, not Rhode Island, but Texas. Okay. So that's very important. Very important. The jury was asked, do you find from a preponderance of evidence that the petitioner and respondent entered into an informal or common law marriage on or about April 12th, right? Now, he's saying you didn't ask them about in Texas, okay? Did they enter it in Texas, okay? Now, I know they live together in California, but Texas law is a little loosey-goosey for common law marriage. You can live with someone for a week and boom, you can find yourself common law marriage if you can hit that 3 criteria right away. Moreover, the jury was instructed that the elements of an informal or common law marriage were, this what they were said, a mutual agreement to be husband and wife. I'll highlight it because it's a little, and after that agreement, they lived together in the state as husband and wife and represented others that they were married, except for the omissions of the word there and the instructions tackled. Look, this is how lawyers play, right? Look at this. This is back in the day. This is in what, 1989? 1989, he's getting out of being a common law married based on the words there and in Texas. That's how much words matter in divorce court, okay? 1991, all right. Except the omission of the words there. We talked about that. The Texas Family Code accepts the substitution of phrases live together in this state for live together in Texas as the omission of the word there. The jury question and instructions stated that elements necessary to establish common law marriage based on the suggested charge in the 5-star bar of Texas, yada, yada, yada. Winfield objected to the omission of the word there from the charge, and most of the time Winfield and Renfro spent together was outside the state of Texas. Come on. Come. Y'all see this? Look at this. Where was the majority of time Mr. Kyle spent with Adept? What state? Where at? Was it in Texas? Because the juicers told me they don't live in Texas no more. That's what the juicers told me. And I trust the juicers, all right? So you see where I'm going with this? Sadly, Texas. Uh-oh. Someone said California. Canada and LA. Canada and LA. Shout out to the juicers. I'm like the oldest, I'm second oldest juicers. They say in Canada and LA. So shout out to that. Shout out to that. Canada and LA. So Mr. Cow is like, prove it. Prove that we live together as husband and wife in Texas. And I said, I'm just going to marry you. Woo. Look, we're going to talk about the proof that she needs because she could win. And I know people will be upset if she win. I got everything written out. Okay. All right. Issue was the mention of word there or the phrase in Texas from the jury. All right. Where we at? Which could have resulted to an improper verdict. Okay. The conclusion. All right. So this is the rule, right? This is the rule now. This is how it becomes like a Supreme Court decision made per se. The court reversed the judgment, finding that the omission of the word there or the phrase in Texas from the jury instruction created an erroneous instruction constitute error that was reasonably calculated to cause and probably did cause the rendition of an improper verdict. Additionally, the court found that the evidence was factually insufficient to support the holding out element of a common law marriage. The court determined that it was against the great weight of sufficiency of the evidence to conclude that the parties held themselves out as married in Texas on or about the date of their alleged marriage. Now, look, I'm sorry, I'm letting, but if they were in Canada on that August 25th, blah, blah, blah date, it's a wrap. It's, hey, we winning. It's GG. GG, exactly. GG. GG. If that date is in Canada, we could be good. We could be Gucci. And we're going to talk about the fallout of if he wins and if he loses. We're going to get to it. So hopefully you guys are seeing it. Now, look, we got like 1,300 people in here. If you guys could do me a favor and like the chat, like the stream, and shout out to Marriage Causes Divorce. What did he say? It's difficult to hate on ex-wives. What do you expect them to do if the laws, judges support them? Men are agreeing to get cashed out when they marry. Yes. Look, guys, I know I'm about to lose like 150,000 in whatever, but I'll say this. Make no mistake. Thank you, Marriage Causes Divorce. I am not a victim. I volunteered for it. I signed the marriage license. And the mistake I made was I didn't know my value. You know, when I met my wife, I had ambition, I had a plan, and slowly I start achieving that plan. I start, working my way up in corporate America, and I start building the wealth. I start building things. I was on pace to retire early. Like, could you imagine that? I was on pace to retire early, and I knew I was going to retire early at like 28 or whatever. But now, retiring early, it's all good though. And like, I'm happy. I wouldn't say I'm happy, but I'm in good spirits because I'm at acceptance. Okay. It's 5 stages you go through when you go through divorce, and acceptance is the last stage. And that's just where I'm at. So shout out to Marriage Causes Divorce. Yeah. You get cashed out. I'm not a victim. So let's keep going, guys. Let's keep going. Now this is where he starts to play hardball. This is where a curveball gets thrown by Mr. Cow, where he's like, look, we talked about his legal defense, guys. We talked about that. All right. We know it's solid. Can you prove at that date on August, blah, 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 we were in Texas? And the answer is nope. But what does he say? This is a petition for a declaratory judgment on the 20th, right? This is the 20th. The 20th. The suit is brought to by Alex. Basically, this is just a fancy way of saying, look, if you lose, sorry, let me show you guys. And I ain't even showing you. Sorry. This is a fancy way of saying, look, Sammy and Sammy's legal team, if you lose, you're going to have to pay for me. You're going to have to pay for every expense I incurred fighting this frivolous lawsuit. Okay? Because you knew going into it and you had no ground to stand on because we were not married. Or maybe they didn't. I kid you not. Sometimes a lawyer could be like, oh yeah, Sammy, we could definitely squeeze a common law marriage out of him. And then you get the super lawyer, and the super lawyer like, how, Sway? How? How? They wasn't even married in Texas. Can we drop this case? And Sammy lawyer's like, no, because if I win, I'm set for life. All right. So basically, it is necessary that Mr. Cow secure this lawyer, which we know as the super lawyer. And he is saying she should be ordered to pay reasonable attorney fees and cost, and a judgment should be recorded against her. Okay, this is basically if she lose, she has to pay for everything. Okay, everything. All right, and this is how the McLaren comes into play. Right? We're gonna break on the calculations when we get to everything. So I already have it mapped out, the calculations and everything. Basically, this is just regurgitating everything I said before. Hey, I want her to pay as much as possible that the law will allow. Okay, as much as legally possible, she needs to pay. Now, we already know she has $150,000 presumably in equity in the McLaren. So if she lose, right, this is where the McLaren comes into play. This is like, hey, is she gonna get the McLaren? If she lose, she could potentially just forfeit her stake in the McLaren and walk away with the 2 cars, and all his legal fees are taken care of, and they go their separate ways. So that's how he can leave with the McLaren. Okay. All right, let's keep going, guys, because we almost through it, and I want to watch some football. All right, where are we at? Look at this. Look at this, guys. Look at this day. Let me make it bigger for you. Let me make it bigger for you, because like I put these in videos, and I wish I would have had more time to explain it. So now we got the time to explain it. We got looks to be 137,000 people in here. Can we just get the likes up? Anyway, so this was filed on the 23rd. This is literally after he filed to have the trial bifurcated, and after he filed for lawyer fees. Now, look, when you're going through a divorce, every time she files something, he gets a copy probably the next day or the same day. So his lawyer is acknowledging the violations. His lawyer didn't even address them because they're frivolous. They don't count, in my opinion. All right. So this is why when he responds, he's like, I ain't wasting time. And like, I'm telling you guys, from my divorce, each motion that you file is costly, probably like $1,000. Who knows how much they're being paying? But this is a landmark case because this has the potential to go up to the Supreme Court. I kid you not. It really does. All right. So this is the second set of violations. It kind of just mirrors like the first 7 are the same. And like she doubled down on the contempt in jail. Like this is how you know, like, hey, like you be like, Sammy, do you love him? I used to love him. I don't love him anymore. Now look, this is where it gets petty, guys. This is where it gets petty. And when I say petty, I'm like, what? All right, let me get out of here. 2:30. All right, this is where it gets super petty. And this is how you know she's pocket watching him. All right, we saw the Destiny one. We saw that. It gets petty on this day. On or about January 18th, 2023, respondent granted a $1,200 tip on a bill at a restaurant, right? Of blah, blah, blah. It doesn't say he can't tip in the original TRO. See, this is called pocket watching. On or about January 20th, the respondent reported that the petitioner was trespassing in the marital residence and attempted to have the county remove her. I don't think in the original when she had exclusive use of the marital property. But if he did call it trespassing, that's kind of frivolous, if you ask me. It's kind of frivolous. So I'm at the house, like, let's take my house, for example, right? If my ex popped up, I would probably call the police on her. I kid you not. She pop up, hey, cops, get her out of here. She has no reason being here. So I'm saying, like, anyway, so she's watching his spending, and that video kind of did go viral. Hey, you trying to get me for trespassing? Hey, he accessed my Spectrum website or application to interfere with the internet. Do you have proof it was him? That's a hard thing to prove. How you know he wasn't hacked? You know? How you know it was him? Oh, it was his login. But you didn't get exclusive use to the internet, did you? Was that in the original TRO? Was that in the agreement that you both signed? Nope, it wasn't. Nope. So what are you talking about? And she got him again. All right, so let's get to the court. Some people asked about the court case. They said, hey, what's going on with the court case? We about to go through what's going on with the court case in 1 second. Let me pull it up. And we should be good. All right, hold on. Court case, let's make it bigger. So look, right here. January 24th. I'll make it bigger for you guys. January 24th, 2030 or 2023. It is ordered. We know it's going to trial. Mr. Kyle was like, hey, this need to go to trial. That the penalty under contempt of court, no person other than the court reporter may record a court proceeding. Audio and video recording is strictly prohibited. Any person recording this proceeding may be held in contempt of court, a finding of contempt. So look, you remember what contempt of court means? Jail time and or fines. Okay, jail time or fines. So you don't want to be in contempt of court and risk going to jail or risk getting fined. It could be a sticky situation. All right. Look at it. Even say it. Contempt of court may be punished by confinement in jail, fines, or other sanctions. So remember, she wanted him to be in contempt of court for violating the orders that wasn't even signed off on. Now she wants him to be in contempt of court for if he records it. So basically, any juicer who makes it to the trial, you can't record it. But let's talk about that. All right, we got a donation before we get to the next stuff. X was living in California during the new violation. California doesn't recognize common law marriage. How is that marital property if it's in California? Ooh, excellent question. Because sorry. All right, look, I got you. How is no, that was Canada. I don't know. That's an excellent question. How is that marital property? Because the only marital property we saw listed was Texas and Canada. So excellent catch, Cameron Treadway. Excellent catch. All right, so let's go to the document that I didn't release that I'm about to release right now. It was filed on 12/21/2022, right? 12/21/2022. And this is rule agreement by initial disclosures. Pursuant to Rule 11 of Texas Civil Procedure, Sammy and Mr. Crow had agreed to the extension of the deadline for initial disclosures. The parties agreed to and extend the deadline exchange the initial disclosures required under 194 to 195 to January 31st, 2023. So what's important about this? This means that even today, she still has, because let's be honest, she's the one who's filing more things. She's the more litigious one from my humble perspective, that 2 more days to basically submit stuff. So why, like, people like, hey, why are you telling us this now? This was early. Yes, it's early, but it's still important. So guys, anything you do is being monitored. Now let's get to the questions that people asked me that I saw in the live in the chat. So someone asked me, better lawyer, does the better lawyer matter? Not really, not in this case. It's who can prove that they were married in Texas. Can Sammy, does she have the evidence, right? And it can't be no flimsy evidence like the agreement to get married. It cannot be, well, my mom heard him say that he was going to get married. No, it can't be coming. It can't come from a mother. It can't come from a roommate. It can't come from hearsay. It needs to come from the source via text message, via email, via voice recording. How can she win? If she has that element, all 3 elements in Texas, she has to meet all 3 in Texas. So if she can't prove that, 1, they agreed to get married in Texas, 2, they live together in Texas, 3, they conduct themselves as husband and wife in Texas, she loses. And like I explained to you, the McLaren, it's a $320,000 car. So she has equity in it because she's on the title. I know, guys, it doesn't matter if she put $0 down. If he put her on the title, it's half hers. So best case of hope, maybe he wins that they weren't married. And then here's the kicker, right? If she loses on the marriage, there probably won't be a second trial. It'll probably be settled because the marriage she don't care about the McLaren. She don't care about the Tesla. She cares about proving that they were married because that's where the money is. Trust me, if she just asked for a McLaren, fine. But Mr. Kyle is fighting this, and we want all men to fight frivolous things like this because it sets an example, right? Let's just say she fights it, she loses the McLaren because he has exorbitant lawyer fees, and she leaves with whatever she came with, that's a win for us and a message to women that don't try to common law get on a person. All right, what was another one? What does contempt of court mean? We covered what contempt of court mean. It means jail time. So if you're filed in contempt of court in family court, you're probably going to jail. And what happened to Twitch? I see Twitch dropped off. All right, we got a contributor. XQC needs to hire Saul Goodwin. Saul Goodman, yeah, it's all good, man. Yeah, he has a great attorney, man. He has a great attorney. That's where it's at. We went over the legal teams. We went over the judge. She is conservative. She is ceremonially married and has a traditional family. Her husband's a cop. Kids are doing good, and she's young, so she knows about TikTok. Her kids may actually know about XQC, and it's looking like it's going to be a jury trial. So if you're in Texas, you want to try to get on the trial if you can, perhaps, potentially, maybe. Any questions, guys? Let me make sure. Will the motion be granted? Oh, excellent question. Will the motion be granted? All right. Let me bring up this screen right here. All right. Let me share it. Sorry. Let me share the screen. Will the motion be granted? The answer is yes. And not in what you think. The motion for the bond may be granted. And it won't be a bond necessarily to go to him if he breaks it, but it'd probably be a bond for the community property. The community property. I'll make this bigger so we could, y'all guys can see it. So she'll likely, so we know, I don't know if she owns the house. So we have the house. Oh, sorry. We have community property. We got the house, McLaren, BMW, Tesla, and anything else, guys? House, McLaren, BMW, and Tesla. These are things that are potentially theirs, or whatever. Maybe they're both on the title. So if the house is paid off, the house is what, $1 million? $1 million. You think he paid off the house? Probably not. Who pays off $1 million house? Not me. Let's look. We had 3,100 people vote, and 21% said no. So shout out to you. Tesla's a new car. So we got McLaren. Let's just say 100,000, 100K, because we about to calculate the bond. We're gonna say the BMW is 100K. Oh, sorry, McLaren is like 350, right? 350K, and the Tesla is 100K. All right, so remember, let's just say this is all there. So half is hers, half is his. So we're looking at 55 million. So if I'm the judge and I want to be fair, and I know he got it, you could potentially say, hey, I'm gonna need you to do probably not the whole amount, but maybe a 750,000 bond, not necessarily to be paid to her if he violates any of those motions that she requested, but I know the internet motion is probably going to be granted, as well as the Tesla motion is probably going to be granted. Okay, and the motion, don't even get caught up on the motion being granted. It's basically this stop him from interrupting her life. All right, that's basically all it is. It's just, hey, don't access the Tesla, don't shut her down from using it, don't access her internet, and we want a $750,000 bond because you do gamble. In the event that it is deemed that you're married, we want her to have something, but not necessarily if you violate it, it goes to her. Because what happens, right? Look at this. What happens if they grant the bond that Sammy wanted, where if he violates future orders, it goes to her, and then it's found out that they were never married in the first place. So now she got $500,000 for him breaking the temporary order, and they were never married in the first place. Damn, she wants to destroy him. Yeah, she wants him in jail for violating stuff. What does Dust Productions say? He says, can he sue afterwards for defamation or mental abuse? Yeah, that's frivolous. How you gonna prove mental abuse? So, all right, this is a great question. In order to prove mental abuse, and I know this because I'm not gonna say why, he has to be going to therapy right now. Therapy, hey, ever since this happened and I couldn't talk to nobody, and I'm so close with my fans, and it's been weighing on me heavily. I ain't been the same since this temporary order happened, and I just ain't streaming the same. I ain't feeling the same. And mental abuse, sure. Now, if she say like he hit her and he didn't on the Johnny Depp stuff, that's a whole nother story. But mental abuse, it's flimsy though, right? What would he gain from her? She's seeking money from him, per se, not vice versa. So it's like, what does he gain from suing her for defamation of character? All right, guys, the stream is technically, can we like the stream though? I see we got 1.5 million people in the chat and only like 600 likes. Can we like the stream? Like the stream. All right, I'm gonna stick around for about 10 more minutes. What's Felix's chances of winning in your opinion? High, because to my knowledge, he is not married in Texas. So it's I think, where was he at when she said that marriage date? That is going to be pivotal. And since he streams a lot, Stephen Arsh, yes, Stephen Arsh, you can come on. Stephen Arsh, you can come on. Let me drop the link for Stephen Arsh only, because this is my guy. Stephen Arsh is the guy who put me on, who gave me the game, who gave me the rundown. Stephen Arsh only, or yeah, Stephen Arsh. Hit the link, Stephen. Hit the link, man. Please. All right, so stick around. If Stephen Arsh come on, that would be amazing. And you got to cam up. You have to cam up. Let me make sure it's the real Stephen Arsh too saying that. Let me go to his channel. Is cam up. I know what you look like. All right, guys. So when I broke this case, it was 26 people, only Stephen Arsh. And you have to cam up. And I already see like some fake Stephen Arshes in the chat. I see XQC in the chat. We know it's not XQC. Stephen Arsh, are you going to cam up? Come on, guys. This could be major if he cams up. All right, we have Stephen Arsh.
Hi, Bucko.
Hey, how's it going, man? How are you?
Good. Congrats on the audience you've somehow acquired.
Oh, it's amazing, man. It's amazing. Please don't do nothing crazy like the last guy did and pull out the jammy.
No, I have a standards to uphold, sadly.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. So what would you like to say about this case? Because we spoke a lot about it.
Yeah, I've got the same documents and I've been reading through it. My story on the Daily Dot should be up sometime in the next couple weeks.
Okay.
It's definitely interesting, to say the least.
It's the most fascinating story.
Yeah, I think like I've covered a lot of like streamer relationship issues over the past few years, and this definitely has like the most, I don't want to say merit, but definitely the most like legal proceedings behind it. They usually don't get this far.
Yes, it should have got thrown out initially, but her story was so compelling that hey, the Canada thing is real. We did live together. She already got 2 out of the 3 proven in my case. She just needs that seal that, hey, he agreed to marry me in Texas.
Yeah, I mean, he has. I don't like. I'm doing a lot of studying on the common law thing because the legal proceedings really aren't my beat, and it seems fairly concrete.
That what he was married or not married?
That he was, at least like from the common law side of things.
Whoa, Stephen Arsh is saying, hey, he may be married.
I don't know. Let me make that clear. You did foghorn it, but
we both don't know. We both
I don't know
if he was married because I've seen everything except the promise to get married. Did you see a promise to marry her anywhere?
I mean, I didn't. We don't have all of the private information.
Yeah,
the court case hasn't started yet.
I know. Are you going to go to Texas to cover it live?
God, no.
Man, I would love to do it. I really would. Because I want to see what evidence she presents for her case.
I mean, if an outlet wanted to pay for me to go out there, I'd consider the idea. But most of the time, I usually try to avoid going directly out there just because it can tend to be a bit of a clusterfuck with fans showing up and then they have to like close the public meeting.
I'm sure it's going to be so many fans showing up. And it looks like we got Forsen in the chat, but I think it's the fake Forsen. You know, people be trolling. If Forsen, if that's really you, show your face and I'll let you on. But anyway, so anything else you want to add, man? And thank you again for so much advice and help and helping me break this and how I should do everything. If you haven't noticed, I've taken your advice.
That's good. I'm glad. I guess I've been curious how you've been feeling about this new influx of XQC fans.
Actually, I enjoy the juicers. I've had several private conversations with the juicers. Some have emailed me information and they seem pretty cool. And some people have said, hey, it's only 1% that's really, out of the 12 million juicers, it's only 1% that's a little different from the rest. So I support the juicers. And hey, how do I become a juicer? Do you know is there like an initiation, or do I get jumped in? Do I just buy a sweater?
I don't think it's like the Proud Boys where you got to get like stocked or something. I assume you just, sub to him for 36 months and you get a little plaque or badge.
Okay, well, I just subbed to him today or yesterday. I can't remember, but I also subbed to Adept too. So
you gotta be ethical, both sides.
So shout out to Adept, shout out to Mr. Cow. Anything else you want to add? Because I gotta go soon, man.
Nah, man. And enjoy your newfound glory.
Hey, shout out to you. Did you see what was happening to me on Twitch? Where they were trolling me so hard. I had to stop the stream to go edit Twitch. I don't know if it was Adept and their fans. I see is this Mr. Cow? Someone is trolling me.
Assume it's a troll 90% of the time, unless it links back to their own.
Mr. Cow, can you put a thumbs up if you can hear me? See, that's how you get them, right? It's someone's basically, they're looping him, act like he's streaming, but it's not Mr. Cow.
So always assume when dealing with the internet that it's a troll.
I see Henry Resilient's brother in the chat. Oh my goodness. I see Forsen. I see Brent. Brent, you can't come up today, man. All right. But anyway, Steven, thank you so much. Guys, like the stream on the way out. It's over. And you have a great day, man.
Good luck out there.
Did I get anything wrong?
I mean, my last name is Asarch. And you keep calling me Arch. And I think it's personally hilarious.
Okay.
But
did I get anything wrong about the legalese of what's happening? How do you feel about his defense?
I mean, we don't know that much. Like in the court proceedings, it's sort of like she says a lot, he denies it. Like there's not a lot of him in there. So we don't know.
Okay. How do you feel about the violations?
I think I definitely want to know about when the police were called on January 20th.
You can, that's public record.
I know. I know, buddy.
Okay. Oh yeah. All right. Who am I? What am I doing? Trying to tell you, like, I didn't look and pulling it though. So I just was like,
yeah. I've got a busy week ahead of me, but that's definitely been the one that caught my eye. We'll see if the rest stick or it's just throwing shit against the wall.
Well, see what sticks. I mean, if she wins, $1 million easily more than $1 million. So she has really nothing to lose but the McLaren, which is house money anyway.
It's a case worth covering at the very least.
I think once it goes to trial, it's going to be bigger.
Yeah, that's usually how these go.
It's going to be bigger, and maybe the bigger outlets will start covering it, and maybe I'll get more coverage. I appreciate all the juicers. But all right, man, I'm going to let you go, man. You have a great day.
All right, peace.
All right, peace. All right, guys. That was Steven Asarch, who put me on to everything. And I hope y'all guys learned something. What's my Twitch? It's Henry Resilient. It's just Henry Resilient. It's Henry Resilient everywhere, but watch out for trolls, guys. I don't do too much I'm on Instagram. I'm on here. I'll show you guys. I'll show you real quick. Instagram. I'll show you my Insta so you know it's me. If you want to follow me, follow me. How do I get to my profile? Look, I know I'm old. All right. So there we go. Here's my screen right here. This is my Insta. If you want to follow me on Instagram, there we go, right there. All 99 followers. I'm on TikTok too. Y'all want the TikTok? Let's see what TikTok's looking like. Let's see what I got going on TikTok. But the stream is over, guys. If you want to hang out, if you got more questions, I'm reading. I'm still. Hold on. I'm reading the chat. So if you want to see my TikTok, it's Henry Resilient here. Sure, show me some love. I appreciate it. Follow me on Twitch. I'll start streaming on Twitch a little bit more. Sorry, guys, about that debacle where people were spamming me and I had no idea what to do or stop it. Henry, so what's properly the timeline to be any major updates? Remember, she has 2 more days to submit court documents. So I thoroughly anticipate her sending more court documents. Like she'll probably like, he spoke to Henry Resilient and he told Henry to cover this case. And I'm getting so much backlash because people are covering it. And it's just a bad look for me. And I'll be like, well, look, I got this from Coach Greg Adams. So shout out to Coach. Any more questions, guys? Let me go to the bottom. Ask your questions. You don't have to send a super chat or any, LFMAO. But yeah, she probably accused me. If I come up in this suit and I have to testify that, hey, I had no contact with Mr. Kyle, you can be like, well, let's see the metadata. And then you would see the metadata. You'd be like, okay, he really did have no contact with Mr. Kyle. So there we go. Any more questions before I dip out? I got 2 minutes. Will there be a trial for the date? Yes, there will be a trial for the date, but it hasn't been established yet because she still has 2 more days to for initial disclosures. Advice to guys considering getting married. Only get married if you want to have kids. And when you get married for the purpose of having kids, understand that if it goes left, can you have 50-50 coverage, 50-50 custody? Like, does your job allow you to take your kid to and from daycare and school during the week? Because it's like an 83% chance once you introduce a kid into the mix that you won't be there. So if you can't get custody for 50-50 time, understand that you're going to be paying child support and you're going to be given every other weekend and 1 day during the week. Now, if you have a job where you work weekends, then, and you're thinking about getting married and you work weekends and you can't have 50-50 custody, now you must accept the terms that you're going to have custody at her expense, like when she wants you to have custody, and you're going to be paying child support. So if you make $100,000, you're probably going to be paying easily $1,000 a month in child support. So any more questions? Pineapple pizza or no? Hell no. I don't put pineapple on pizza. Do y'all do that? Juicers, do y'all do that? Any more questions? Let's see. What do we got here? Common law work on other genders? Yes. Don't think that same sex stuff is going to, save you or anything. And shout out to you if you're same sex. I don't care. Prenups. If you're going to get married, definitely got a prenup. Definitely. Do not enter a marriage without a prenup. But at the same time, when you get married with a prenup, now you're still banking on a judge to uphold your prenup. So think about that, guys. Anything else, my juicers? All right, juicers. Brent, we're going to have to email me, Brent, man. Come on, man. You come on every stream. Anything else? You're a great guy, Henry. Thanks, man. Tell that to my ex-wife. She thinks I'm the devil. I kid you not. Get an ironclad prenup, man. You want to get a prenup and you want to get a postnup. So prenup a year before you get married. Don't get one 3 months before, a month before the day of. 1 year before marriage, get a prenup. And after you get married, get a postnup. Make sure she doubled down on what she said going into it. Oh yeah, you like the stream? Shout out to everyone for liking the stream. Let's see what these questions say. If I were to pay your flight to Texas to broadcast the court case, would you go down? Ooh, as much as I would love that, I don't know how long the court case is going to be. And I got custody. I got a daughter, right? My daughter, and I'm mid-divorce. So this is how it will be used against me. It'd be like, see, judge, he don't even want to be in his daughter's life. He down there covering Mr. Cow. I need more custody. And we just signed off on me having 50-50 custody. Thank goodness, because she wasn't offering me 50-50. She actually offered me like 60-40. She was like, I'll have her Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. You have her Wednesday, Thursday, and we alternate Friday, Saturday. And I was like, nope. Anyway, so that's very generous of you, someone should go down and cover it, though, man. I'm telling you, this case is going to be so major once it goes to trial. Look, if it's proven at trial that they were never married, it won't be as big. But if it goes to trial and she makes it past stage 1 that they were married, it will be the biggest trial in the world. I promise you, the world. Like, everyone will be talking about it because it will be millions at stake on a 2-year marriage. So anyway, guys, I'm going to leave y'all with something. Shout out to the people who got me onto this. Shout out to Coach Greg Adams and shout out to the Juicers, Juice Gang. Shout out for y'all for showing up today. Shout out to Brent for always trying to come on. Shout out to Marriage Causes Divorce. Shout out to Classy Beats, everyone who helped contribute to this channel. And shout out to everyone who donated. And shout out to Mr. Cow, right? Shout out to Mr. Cow. Mr. Cow, after this, I want to interview for being your voice or trying to be your voice because I know what you're going through and I know it ain't tough. I know it ain't easy. So we're going to leave y'all with a message from Adept's lawyer. Like the stream on the way out.
Hello, XQC. This is Adept's lawyer. I'm sending this message to you to remind you that the McLaren isn't yours, bucko. Also, your last 3 relationships with women didn't work out. Maybe try some of those femboys you like so much instead. Get the juice.